I'm alone, sitting with my empty glass. My four walls follow me through my past. I was on a Paris train, I emerged in London rain, and you were waiting there, swimming through a pot.
Tonight we have a special guest. I don't know if you see him yet, but I see him, I think. Mike Parks, are you there, sir? Are you there?
I'm here, Cooley. How are you, my friend?
There you are. There you are. What's up, brother? What's up?
Just trying to get through this chaos of 2020 and happy to talk to you.
Well, you are the hardest working man in Scar. I don't even know how you find time to give us a little minute, but thank you so much, man. Thank you for coming.
I'm excited to be here.
Let me ask you, the part of California in is that on fire over there?
Yeah, we are about 23 miles away from some of the biggest fires, and a lot of friends, including the vocalist for Streetlight Manifesto. He has had to evacuate. He was woken up at 5 a.m. The sheriffs said, "You got to get out of here." So he gathered up as much stuff as he could, waved goodbye to his home, which includes his recording studio. So,
oh no!
So we are thinking good thoughts for our friend Thomas at the Streetlight, and a lot of friends. Dan Pottas is in Santa Cruz. He's not in danger of his place burning down, but he's in the thick of stuff. Smoke is unbearable. Like right outside my home right now, it's thick as can be. The smoke is it just smells like you're camping in Big Sur with everyone having a fire pit going. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, they were saying it was I don't know if you know DC Scar Girl, but she's out there. She's telling me she woke up in the morning and her living room was full of smoke.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Like
it's terrible, and it's just an add-on to the chaos of 2020.
Yeah. Well, it's about the vision, right? There's some kind of a vision that we're supposed to be seeing out of this whole catastrophe. We're supposed to be seeing something new.
That's always the plan, but sometimes that vision of hope and positivity can crumble. And today's a crumbling day, but I'm still hopeful always.
You have gone through a lot, man. I mean, you've been doing this music probably longer than myself.
Yeah, I started taking it serious. I think in '89 is when I thought I'd like to make music. My future. I wanted to be involved in music in one way or another. Starting in '89 is when I quit college and went for it.
Was it '89 that I met you in Skank and Pickle?
Yeah, I believe. I know that the Toasters had come through, and we had played 3 shows with the Toasters, right. And the Unity 2, which were the original MCs,
right.
Had just departed, and you came in, and I remember being wary, like, oh, who's this new guy? And then after the first show, I was like, oh, well, he's better than the Unity 2. This guy is great. No, it was so much fun. I remember back then, we would play our set. Bucket was such a smart guy. He'd hire these bands to be like the opening bands, and basically we would be the roadies too, because he would use our back line. So we'd set everything up, get paid $100, play the show, which we didn't mind, and then we would watch the Toasters and dance and skank all night. And then
Yeah, it was
after the show
great.
was over, we had to pack everything up. But it was all. I mean, looking back, I realized, oh, that's pretty genius on Bucket's part. But at the time, we didn't mind at all, and we
Yeah.
loved it, every minute of it.
Yeah, it was great. It was great times, very free and experimental for me because I had just come out of the hood. So traveling like that was great. It was just something new for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I really enjoyed it.
your band was full of excitement and full of high energy. I would have never known that it would have transcended the times because now you're legendary just with that band alone. Not to mention your other bands that you have. With that band alone, you could do nothing wrong again.
Well, I don't know about that. Listening to
Yeah.
some of those records, I'm like, oh God, this stuff is horrible. I think we were a good live band. I think the
Yes.
records are subpar at best. Some of that stuff is, especially songs that the original bass player wrote, are unlistenable to my ears. But we were a democracy. Each member had an equal say. And sometimes when you do that, it causes friction because everyone has a
Mm,
voice and wants to be heard.
mm.
And that's okay.
I thought you guys was great.
I thank you. I appreciate it.
I thought you guys was great. I was like, wow. And because remember, this was my first introduction to ska.
Okay.
So I didn't even know where I was or what I was doing. I was just in the scene, just coming in the scene. So you guys were lively,
We
crazy
tried our
on the stage.
best. We
Yeah,
wanted to be crazier than our goal. I remember when we started practicing at first was, let's be crazier than Fishbone if it's possible. And so with that mentality, we told ourselves, if we're going to do this, we need to practice going as crazy as possible. So our practices were us just going ape shit to build our endurance, to be able to sing out of breath. And so we were able to translate that onto a live format.
yeah, you did a great job.
Thank
So
you.
I tried to follow your Wikipedia, and it was just too much for me to read, bro. I'm sorry. It's just like your credits was just rolling, and the film was still going. It was like people was like packing up their equipment and everything, and the credits were just still going. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. When did you start Asian Man?
I started Asian Man in May of '96. I remember the day. The last show I played with Skank and Pickle was at this festival at UC Santa Barbara called Mayfest. And that last year, I was really struggling emotionally to keep touring. The band really enjoyed touring. I did not. It was very hard on me, but I wanted to keep the band together. So most of the money I made, I actually spent flying the shows because I couldn't handle being in the van anymore. And it just came to a head where I just said, listen, I can't do this anymore. I understand this is your livelihood too. If you want to keep going, please keep going. And they did. They went for another 6 months. And unfortunately, it wasn't able to work for them. But that was it. I was done. But that last show, I remember driving home. It was about a 4-hour drive. And I knew at that point I had to start my own company because we were a democracy as a collective. Too many cooks in the kitchen would not work. I wanted to have my own label, and I thought, Asian Man. I want to call it Asian Man Records because I wanted people to know it was a person of color running the label
Mm,
in a demographic that was predominantly white. And
mm,
that was it. To be an influence for other Asian American kids who
mm.
maybe felt sheltered, that I could say, hey, I'm doing it and you can do it too. And
Good
that's
on you,
why I
man.
called it Asian Man Records.
I need to start Black Man Records. I'm like, I actually wanted to start a label with Tofas, you know.
I tell
I
every
wanted
band,
to,
even,
it was like, nah, don't do that. I don't want to. I was like, oh, so I just shelved it. Crazy.
yeah, I try to encourage bands to do it on their own. There's no reason for a label to put out your records. They're just taking your money. Anybody can do this. I don't even know what I'm doing, to be honest. So
I think you know by now. How many bands are on your? How many bands have you helped? Let's start with
yeah.
that, regardless of the label. Like
So
how
we have
many?
put out 365 releases.
Okay.
So out of that, maybe 100 different bands throughout the years. And it's funny because I still have the original list that I just keep adding to, and then staple another piece of paper. And a lot of the bands, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot, I forgot that band even existed. And so it's fun to look back.
Yeah, yeah, you've done a lot, man. You've done a lot, and you also started tours. Like you did the Scar Against Racism tour. Is that your tour, or you just a part of it?
Yeah, yeah, that was a tour. I felt like at the time in popular music, you had the reboot of Woodstock, and during that time, there was this masculinity in music with bands like Limp Bizkit and this idea of like fucking shit up. And so you had these rapes happening at Woodstock, and the music
Mm,
industry as a whole just kind of turned a blind eye towards this problem. And especially with the original idea of Woodstock being peace through music.
mm,
And so, what little power I had, I thought I've got to do something than just capitalism towards a tour. And so, the original idea of ska, at least in my mind, going through the two tone movement of black and white
mm-hmm.
equality, is I'd like to do something with ska. And so, that's how Ska Against Racism, the idea started in my mind.
Brilliant. And you just did something. Well, we'll talk about it in a second. So you start the record label, you start the touring, but then you concentrated on specific bands that you started putting out on your own, right?
Uh, in terms of bands we worked with,
Yeah, like they're on Asian Man records, no? Or you just
yeah.
helped them out like Buck did?
Well, we had our first release was Less Than Jake. We put out their first record, and there's no contracts. We never have made a contract with a band. The idea is that if a band is not happy, why should I contractually obligate them to work with me if
Mm,
it's just going to be friction? I don't want to work with bands or artists in that manner. The idea is to build a community and to build friendships. And if someone's not happy, why would I want to work with that? It's only going to drag you down. It's only going to drag down your mental health. So that's always been the way. If you're not happy, my blessings to you to leave.
beautiful, dude. That's great. I mean, I think Buck had it like that, but I don't know if it was the same philosophy as that what you just said. But I'll have to ask him in future interviews. Um, so then you went and you did another band. Now I've seen credits for the Chinks,
The
and I've seen
Chinkies.
Chinkies, sorry, and
Yeah,
the Bruce Lee band. Which
correct.
came first?
So the Bruce Lee band was while I was still in Skank and Pickle. I had written a bunch of songs that I wanted to get out there. And Skank and Pickle, the other members were writing more songs, so I knew that I couldn't get all my songs in on the next album. So I asked Less Than Jake if they would want to do just a fun side project for the Bruce Lee band. So I just recorded songs on acoustic guitar, sent it to them, and they came up with a very Less Than Jake sounding version of my songs. I flew into Gainesville, and maybe it was 2 days. We recorded an album, and it was fun. We had a great time. It was very very organic, very punk, and an album I'm really proud of. Even listening back to this day, I'm pretty proud of the songs.
So I got a question from someone over there before. This was ahead of time. They associated you with Blink 182.
Blink
It's,
182,
yeah,
Blink
is Blink
80.
80? Okay,
Blink 80 is a
Blink 80.
band that was from my area. They were about 40 miles north of me from the East Bay,
Blink 80, that's what it is.
and they were just young kids, all in high school. And they opened up for Skank and Pickle. And I remember like peering through the back stage, watching the drummer who had to have been 13 at the time, And they were just so good. I remember just thinking, wow, such youthful energy, and it's so pure and honest. And that's how I started working with them. Um,
So
the singer, oh, go
go on.
ahead.
No,
The
the
singer,
guy's name. Go ahead.
Nick, yeah, the singer passed away, unfortunately, due to an overdose. He was a wonderful soul, and he was only 19. And it was tough. The band, at that time, the band had actually kicked him out. And so he was doing a new project, and they were still going with another singer. And they continued to play for another 5 years. And they're all good people, too.
Okay, so that was the question. And the question came from a Nick Faber, and he said, I saw you. I saw Link 80 on. I must have been on the last tour before, shortly after Nick left. He said, well, I'm gonna get to the question because Nick was so charismatic. Where did you see Nick Link 80 knowledge heading?
Well, if Nick had stayed in Link 80, I think they would have obviously, and he had not passed away. I think they would have done very well. I really believe a bigger label like an Epitaph would have signed them, and they would have been quite popular. He was a very charismatic frontman and a charming person. So I thought, really, sky's the limit for them.
I'm gonna get one more question before I get onto some of your videos, because I know people want to see some of your great videos too. But I know we also want to talk to you a lot because you're a wealth of knowledge, and I don't know if enough. I need 2 segments, maybe 3 segments with you. This question is from Andrew Plum. Do you have a favorite backing band for Bruce Lee band?
So the original idea was I would just do side projects with different bands. So it started with Les and Jake. 10 years later, the RX Bandits were the backing band. And then 10 years after that, it was Jeff Rosenstock and this gentleman named Kevin Higuchi and Mike Huguenot, who are all part of the Jeff Rosenstock band. But after we did that last one with that lineup, we all talked and thought, let's just keep this lineup going, because we were and are still very good friends. And we actually released a record last year and did some shows in Hawaii. And so it's just a fun project. We'd like to kind of reintroduce ourselves every few years, just to get together, play music, and travel to a place we'd like to go. It's more of a fun project. So we usually go to Japan when we tour. We'll go to Japan and just have fun. It's like a vacation.
Okay, that sounds like band life to me. That's just my mentality when I'm going to know. Oh, it's another vacation. I get to sing. I get to hang out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come right back with Mike Park. We're going to see like three of the old videos. 3 of the old. That's Johnny. Can I hear you, Johnny? Yes,
Howdy,
we're going to play
folks. Yes, we're going to play 3 videos.
Okay, and we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, cool.
I am still in love with a girl that's fine. A girl that's fine. And I am still in love with a girl that's fine. And I am still in love with a girl that's fine. A girl that's fine. I don't write a love song that can make me very sick. Like the girl from the glossy high, shooting one percent. You have the best TV show, better than Beverly Hills 90210. Jack and Cody, Wall Street, Logan. I am still in love with a girl that's fine. A girl that's fine. I am still in love with a girl that's fine. I am still in love with a girl that's fine. A girl that's fine. Look up at the sky tonight, saw the cold wind breathing through my side. Thought about my dad tonight, and that's what is he gonna be alright? Now my mind thinks I can't give enough, and I can't pour enough, and my love is not enough in this big world. And my love is not enough in this big world. Sat and talked to Dad today, told me stories leaving for the States. Time to share my father's time, learning who this man is I call Dad. Now my mind thinks I can't give enough, and I can't pour enough, and my love is not enough in this big world. And my love is not enough in this big world.
Renee, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with Mike Park. Hello? I don't see him.
I'm
Why?
here. Can you
I
hear
see
me?
John. Oh, it's John's face again on the screen. What's up? What's up? So we were talking about, well, off camera we were talking about the olden days and what we did back then and how the scene was different. Someone actually had a question for you in regards to that too. Um, the person's name, excuse me. Oh, John, read the question for me, please. I can't see it. There you go. Yes.
Okay.
Come.
Carol writes, Mike, do you think things have changed substantially since you started in the ska community with regards to racism, sexism, etc.? And have things gotten better? What areas do you think still need improvement?
There we go. Thank you, Karen, for
Yeah.
your question.
Sexism has definitely gotten better. I feel like in the late 80s, even the mid 80s through the early 90s, sexism and homophobia in ska was very prevalent. Just that machismo of the skinhead culture was not a good thing. And I don't know, Cooley, if you had that experience with even though they were sharp skinheads, I felt that the homophobia in ska was horrible in the late 80s throughout the 90s. And I feel like that is changing for the better. Sexism has always been a huge detriment to the scene. There are very few women representing ska for the history of time, and so that's something that needs to change and is and will change. And we just need to encourage our sisters to play the music and not feel intimidated. And it's not it shouldn't be a boys' club. It should be all inclusive.
Someone came on here the other day. Go on, Mark. Go ahead, Mike.
And in terms of racism, I mean, what do you say in 2020? It really feels like we took one step forward in 98 and we've taken two steps back in 2020. And I don't know if it's because racists feel brazen to say what they truly feel, or if this is just a fact of social media being able to kind of put it out there in the open. All I know is it's something that's affected me personally, where I feel sick to my stomach by what's been going on throughout, not just the United States, but globally.
Mm. Yeah, they've definitely been. It's the leadership that has set forth this precedent. Now, and I'm not against anybody. I'm just saying what I see. And let me
I
make this,
agree.
let me make
I
this
agree.
clear. When you spit hatred and sexism and racism, then you embolden and you empower other people to do the same. They may have had these feelings, but due to society, it's not cool to say, so they kept it to themselves. But when you have the leadership saying, "Yo, bang, 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 bang," well, then they're like, "Yeah, hell yeah, yeah, yeah." So everyone else just jumps on and says what they feel to say because they always felt that way too. It was never something that wasn't here. I've always experienced this. I've known this all my life. I've lived here, even in the ska world. I experienced it. I've been threatened by Nazis. I've been challenged on the stage whilst I'm performing. Like dudes want to kill me whilst I'm on the stage. I know what that is. So it's not like I didn't know it was here. It's not that I haven't been arrested by cops for being black. All this stuff. I know this stuff. I don't like wear it like a burden. I just know it exists. So now, 2020. Yes, definitely. We've taken a lot of steps back, and it's because of our leadership. And I'm just gonna say that's where it is. That's where it started. That's the only. That's when I saw it. Like the veils just came off. Boom. Yeah. I don't know.
Amen.
You got me on a sore subject here. This is.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, of course. To politicize the easy slogan like "fuck Trump," "Trump sucks," that's the obvious. So my goal is like, how can we mobilize with articulation, other than just saying or preaching to the choir? And it's just through example. It's like, for me, it's always just been, how can I, as a human being, help other human beings? And that's just through kindness. And that's really all I can offer at this point. Because all I feel like I'm doing is preaching to the choir, which is fine too. And I hope I'm reaching out to some younger generation and
I think you
influence
are.
them positively.
I think you are. In fact, it's not even a think. You definitely are, because the younger generation see you as someone that's solid, and that's why you were on that podcast the other night, because you're a solid dude. The people wanted to hear what you had to say because of your stance in life. And in regards to the females, definitely my little podcast, I try to feature a lot of females who are singing, who may nobody ever knows, or artists who no one knows who they are, but it's just to put them out there so people do see them. People may look at what I'm doing and say, "Hey, who's that singer? Blah 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 blah." This is what you do. This is what we do. This is the community that we live in. And as far as encouraging women, yeah, absolutely. On my show, it's a plus. We had somebody come on here and say there's not enough representation of women, and I took that to heart. So I was like, "Oh, okay. Now let me find all these women and put them out there."
That's great.
I mean, that's what
Wonderful.
you do. That's what you do.
Trying.
That's what you do. Anyway, so after you did Skank and Pickle,
Bruce Lee Band.
Bruce Lee Band,
So then the Chinkies.
right?
So
how
the
did this form?
Chinkies, that was my first foray into being overtly political, taking on that NWA stance of uneasiness when hearing the word chink as a derogatory word, So we wanted people to understand that when they say or read or hear that word, whether you are an Asian or a non-Asian, that it'll make you react in one way or another. And so with that band, we were an all Asian American band, and it was quite fun. We practiced weekly in my garage, and it was the first time since Skank and Pickle where we had that camaraderie of friends getting together weekly, playing music, and then we would go out and get burritos afterwards, and it was a lot of fun. But at that time, I was really burnt on touring, so we only did it to tour places that I'd never gone to before. So we did a Europe tour, 2 Europe tours, a few Japan tours. We did Mexico, and we never did the United States. We played maybe 6 shows in the U.S., and that was it.
Oh wow!
And we still put out 3 records, actually 4 records now, and it's something that I thought was dead in the water, but we put out a new record this year, an EP, and it's something that's I think still relevant and something that I can use to get my ideas across.
Hmm. Do you find that there's not enough Asian people in the ska scene?
Sure, but that's no fault of ska. I just think most Asian Americans are listening to I think hip hop or
K-pop.
EDM or K-pop. I think ska is just
It's not everyone's taste.
Yeah, it's not something, especially younger kids. You don't see a lot of high school kids, Asian American kids, gravitating towards ska. It's
Yeah,
just,
not a lot of black kids either.
yeah, exactly.
So what's the secret? What can we do?
I don't think there's anything you can do.
Yes, there is, man. There must be something we can do.
Well, hopefully there's a new band that has people of color that are willing to tour and go out there and be a face. And I think if other people see that face, they'll be encouraged perhaps to do it themselves.
I think I know what it is, though.
Okay, let's hear
it. It's you see the blending of the genres. That's what ska is really known for, right? Blending of the genres. When it was in Jamaica and it went to England, then it blended with punk. It got sped up and so forth. It came to America. It got a little more jazz, got some hip hop in it. You know, it blended again. So this is the 4th wave now. As I heard from the interviewer, you said this yesterday. This is the 4th wave now. So the 4th wave now should include more hip hop, maybe some techno, and ska. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
I agree. I feel like there should be no barriers. Music is universal. And if we only look, I mean, I love ska. I love traditional ska.
Me too.
I love two-tone. And those are probably two-tone is probably my favorite of all the waves. But you have to progress. I mean, we all sounded like the Specials, if every band sounded like the Scotalites, what a boring world it would be. So I'm very, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan of like ska punk per se, which maybe sound weird since I was in a band that really was on the forefront of that mixture of ska.
Yeah.
But I really feel like for purists to downplay what people are doing with ska is detrimental. And anyone playing music, whether it be ska, jazz, funk, you've got to be a positive influence and support them so that they don't give up music. Music is I feel like on the way out in terms of kids playing instruments. I know like Les Paul and Fender, the amount of guitar sales are just so down over the last decade. And because kids see these EDM DJs, and nothing against EDM, but if you're able to just push play and put your hands up and 50,000 people are going bonkers, what incentive is there for you to practice 10 hours a day mastering your instrument when you see these guys just throwing cakes in people's faces and flying on private jets and just auto-tuning the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
Why? What? You don't even need to sing. We can make you a star. So anybody who can play an instrument and is starting a band, just got to support them and be positive towards their art.
I agree. We have a question here from Steve Walsh. Question is, Mike, what was your initial reaction after hearing Sounds Are Fine for the first time?
Okay, so this is just a random question.
Yes, I don't know who this. Steve, this is your time, Steve. I don't know why he asked you that.
This is the daughter of Dan Andriano from the band The Alkaline Trio. I believe she's 11 or 12, and she just had a great voice. She was doing like school musicals, and Dan had sent me some recordings, and so I wrote the song for her because I just wanted, and it was about our kids, because both our daughters are the same age, how they're dealing with remote schooling and just that whole, like, wow, everything is changing. And yeah, she had this beautiful voice, and Dan put my music to her voice, and it was awesome to hear her sing my song.
There you go, Mike. There you go. What was that? Was it Steve, right? Steve, that's your answer. I have another question for you. There are people that just asking you a bunch of questions, making my life easy. I want to say her name is Casilla Margaret. Thank you, Mike. As a female, I always felt safe and comfortable attending MAR shows. Give me a second. I'm going to move the screen because Johnny, just read the rest of that for me, please. Are you there?
I think it was more of a comment than a question. She was just.
Well, let me hear the comment. It sounded positive.
That was the comment. I think she felt.
No, there's not. There's something more. That's the end of it. Oh, yeah, that was it. Sorry.
Yeah. It was just a thank you, Mike.
I can't see the screen. Thank you, Casilla. And there's more. Give me the one underneath it.
What did you think about the Blue Meanies?
That's for Mike.
Yeah, that band. I mean, they're not a ska band. They're just a kick-ass band. That band, like musically, they were so ahead of everybody else in the ska scene. They were just playing this hybrid, like jazz, math rock. I don't know why they got considered ska, because they had a couple songs that had like the offbeat influence, but I would never consider Blue Meanies a ska band. Maybe ska influenced, but yeah, that band was crazy. Just their horns, Jimmy Flame, the trumpet player, just shredder. Everybody in that band was just, it was sick. You kind of watched them, and they were a musician's band. The musicians would watch them and go, whoa, okay, this is really cool. Yeah, one of the sickest bands I've ever seen.
Okay, we're going to get into two more of your brand new releases because I see time is short, and I want to make sure we get your videos in and come back and talk to you for as much time as we have.
So John,
yeah,
do you want to just play the one acoustic song, Everything Will Be All Right?
I didn't title them, so I have a 50-50 chance of picking the right video.
Okay, whatever. Let's just play one, and then so I could talk more with Cooley.
Okay,
exactly.
Good.
Wake up, eyes wide. This is the day that I've been looking for. I try to wake up mom and dad so I could open up my presents. Yeah. Pictures, music, something get you kinda started. I think about the homeless man. See, getting fed today now. I can't wait, let's be quick. Wanna see what presents I got. I've been good this year. I've been so good this year now. Family singing, lots of smiles show on my face. Homeless, hungry, still I complain about the things I don't have. Justice, feeling, we really need to come together. Fight for our rights, to be clear enough to see the problems. And I can't wait, let's be quick. Wanna see what presents I got. I've been good this year. I've been so good this year now.
Yeah, I just need a studio. That's a permanent studio where I can crank these songs. Oh, we're back. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Oh, heavens to America, here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here. There's Supernova Saturdays. We're just talking about things behind the scenes. People talking about things that we should do. Yes, and we are back with Mike Park. Where are you, Mike? Are you there?
I'm here. Cooley, I got a question for you. And when we first met, when you were touring with the Toasters,
Yeah.
and you had said that was your first introduction to ska.
Yeah.
So what was going through your mind, like, and especially back then, it was still very fashion oriented. A lot of skinheads, a lot of mods, rude boys, rude girls. What are you thinking into this new?
I'm like, where the hell am I? Where the hell am I? I said, I thought, oh my God, this is the Warriors.
Like, how did Bucket find you?
I had a record on the radio. It was a hip hop, reggae, rapping, singing song, which I did. And this person, a manager of another artist by the name of Shinehead, she lost him as an artist, and she came to get me to replace him. And then Unity 2 Closest lost Unity 2, their two frontmen. And then she said, okay, you can go and tour with these guys for this tour, set it up, I'll give you the audition. And then you come back and you resume your dancehall career. I was like, all right, cool. Then she let me hear the music. And I was like, oh, what the hell is this? What? I was like, what's this? This. Then she said, well, you said you can do any kind of music. And I said, yeah, but you said. I was like, okay. Took it home, listened to it, trying to find the reggae in it. Found two songs that had reggae, like reggae-ish. And I said, okay, all right. Audition, got the audition, went on tour with them, hung out with them for like a year, maybe 6 months, 7 months, I don't know, and then I left.
It was that short?
It was that. You remember when I came back, you said, yo, that record you did with them was great. I said, what record?
The live in Germany or something. Yeah.
Yeah. You was like, that record. I said, what record? I didn't do a record with them. It's like, and you took out this album and you showed me. I was like, oh. I was like, I didn't do any damn record. These guys got. Anyway, but you opened my eyes to a couple of things that I didn't know was going on. But yeah, it's all good.
But it was, Cooley Ranks. I'm giving props to Cooley Ranks as as a front man, I like watching other frontmen, and the power that Cooley has is pretty impressive. I always think like I'm one of the best, but then I see Cooley Ranks, I'm like, okay, Cooley Ranks is one of the best. I don't think I can match up with Cooley's power. I've seen Cooley take a crowd and just have them right in his grasp. I'm like, okay, this guy's got the power.
You're killing me. I can't take it. Humbled. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I see the greatness that you guys do, man. Trust me. You're a real pioneer. Like when I think about the things that you do, man, it's like, how does one man find the time to do all of this? One man. Like, dude. One man. You spearhead, you're an activist. Pretty much an activist and a record label and an artist and a songwriter and in a band and a family man. Dude.
A family man is probably the hardest of everything. Everything else is just kind of fun, enjoyable stuff.
Oh, yeah?
One more question for you, Cooley. So when you did that run with the Toasters, who were some of the bands that you guys played with that you were like, whoa, this is a cool band?
Skanking Pickle. That band that Chris was in.
King Apparatus.
Let's Go Bowling.
Hell yeah.
Donkey Show.
Oh, such a good band.
The other band with Miguel, tall guy, Latino dude. Um,
Hepcat.
no. Oh God. Oh, Skeletons.
Skeletons, of
Oh
course.
my God. Oh my
Great,
God. He had
great
all
band.
the girls. What? That dude right there. And sorry, I just it's a lot. MU330.
Uh,
Secret Cajun band. Like I just start telling. For me, everything was great. Pocket Kings, like everything was great for me.
wow.
Scavosis, Insatiables. I mean, everything was just like it was like all new for me. So I was just like a sponge in water. It was everything was great.
Were
Everything.
you familiar with Fishbone at that time? Had you
No,
listened?
I saw
Okay.
I saw Fishbone on television, like when I in my hip hop days, and
Okay.
they were on a hip hop show, a cable. I'm sorry, you got me talking like, oh, because you do the podcast now, you're switching it around, huh? That's what you're doing. What's the name of your
I
podcast?
want
What's the name of your
to.
podcast?
My podcast. It's a weird podcast. It's about the '80s Canadian teen drama Degrassi Junior
The
High.
Gassy Junior High,
Yeah.
exactly. That's where Drake came from. Drake is new to the show. If you really want to talk about Degrassi, okay? Drake wasn't on the show then. But anyway, yeah, man. Everything was new to me, man. Everything was just like great. I absorbed everything. I saw Fishbone for the first time on television on a hip hop show, and I just thought these dudes was insane. I didn't know it was ska. I didn't know any history about them. It was on this program called Video Music Box, which was the hip hop show, and I saw Skunk and Nancy on that show too. They would just bring all of this different stuff on the show as well as hip hop. Ralph McDaniel. Shout out to Ralph McDaniel. But
Nice.
that was my introduction to them. I met Angelo like without knowing who he was. Like he was in the crowd just dancing. I was like, wow, that dude can skank really good.
He's the best. Angelo Moore has more style in his pinky than I have in my entire body. More soul
I can't
in
mess with
his
that dude.
in his
So you
big
talking about
toe.
front man? That's the front man right there.
He is, yeah, there's nobody
Nope,
like Angelo Moore.
nope.
Just and the soul that just oozes out of his body every step he takes.
Mm.
And he's the real deal. That's
Yeah,
him
that's him.
24/7.
A
Yeah,
1000%, man. I mean, the
that's
entire
him.
band. That band was just another phenomenal band. It's like, who are these
Yes,
guys? Like all of them held it down. Yeah.
yes.
We got
I
an
love
Anyway,
it.
so
interesting question here from Jay Navarro in the house.
okay,
Oh, Mr. J
let's see what
Navarro.
Jay's got to say. You
Tell
want to read it
some
off because I can't see it.
tell some Bismarcky stories.
Okay, very quickly. So,
Oh, that's from Jay Navarro. Can they hear you?
Suicide Machines J.
Are you on live, John?
No, yeah, I'm
Okay.
live. Yeah, they can hear me.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead.
Okay, so really quickly, Bismarck Key is obviously famous, the clown prince of hip hop. And about 6 years ago, I was the super music friend on the entire Yo Gabba Gabba live tour. It's a 3-month tour, and I shared a bus with Biz Marquis.
Oh my God.
And so Biz Marquis, for some reason, I don't know how I even got this gig. I thought I got it from Christian from the Aquabats, but somehow the producers of this saw me do a one-off show, and they thought, how can we get a super music friend without a band so they can cut down costs and just get one person? And then my name came up, and I was hired for this gig. Anywho, so with Biz Marquis, he thought I was like, I must have had a hit. I was like some star. And so he was constantly on his Bluetooth, and he's talking to Moni Love. I don't know if you remember Moni.
Yeah, of
Moni
course.
Love.
Money in the middle.
And so, yeah, Moni in the middle. And so he's talking about her, and he's saying something about, having 10 friends is a lot of friends. You can't have more than 10 friends. And then so he calls me to the back of the bus. He's all, Mike Park, come out back here. He's all, 10 friends. That's a lot of friends, right? And I'm like, I don't know. I just agreed. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of friends. And then obviously I couldn't hear, but Moni Love said, who are you talking to? And Biz Marquis says, "That's Mike Park, the super music friend." And I remember just going in my bunk on the bus and laughing, just going, "Oh my god, it's so funny."
There you
Yeah.
go, Jay.
That's one, but lots of Biz Marquis stories. Oh my god, what a treasure it was to like hang out with him and get a little sneak preview into his life. That guy's
Yeah,
a good dude.
yeah. He used to come into the parks when I lived in the 90s. Anyway, it's another story. Um, John Habercorn, Habercorn. That's it, Habercorn. Says Scar Against Racism in '97 was a life-changing event for me. See what you're doing? He says any chance of a resurgence of this tour seems very relevant in this day and age.
Sure. I mean, I've gotten that a lot. Unfortunately, I just don't have the physical time to put something of that magnitude together,
Mm,
especially with quarantine, where we don't even know when music is going to happen, live music again.
mm.
But we are actually working on something, myself and a couple other people in the ska world. We're working on something with the Ska Against Racism tag that is going to be a fundraiser where we donate every penny to various charities that are working towards progressive change. So we have something in the works right now with Ska Against Racism.
Excellent. There's a question there, John, and I'm sure there's more. Can you show me some more there, John? After that one. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Annie Clemens, you are the one I was talking about that was talking about the women in ska. So shout out to you, Annie Clemens. John?
Yeah, I sent you a new one. We got any
No, I can't
possibility.
see. I
Okay,
can't see it.
any possibility for an AMR anniversary show in the future?
So I did a big 15-year anniversary, which was insane. I did a 20-year that was insane, not as insane as 15. Next year is 25. Or is it this year? Wait, I don't even know where I am. Okay, yeah, next May would be 25. I'm not going to do anything. Even before the pandemic hit, I wasn't planning on anything. Who knows? Those things are stressful.
Yeah.
I'm not good at just chilling and being behind the scenes and relaxing. Some reason
Hands
I feel
on.
like I have to do everything, and that's
Yeah, I
my
can't.
problem.
No,
So
yeah.
I don't plan on doing anything, but who knows? You never say never, I guess.
Delegate, bro.
I'm not good at delegating.
Delegate. Listen, we're gonna.
Cooley,
Yeah.
one last question. How do you still look like you're 26 years old? That's what I'm freaking out about. You haven't aged one day.
I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian most of my life.
I've seen some busted up looking vegetarians. I don't know. This is fountain of youth.
I'm gonna say, Mike, you don't look old. You know, you look the same. I think it's ska. It must be ska from dance. I'm serious, you know, because and the world of ska is a less stressful life than most life as a musician for me anyway. Because I can tell you, my life before ska was horrible. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I have to come back. That's why I have to come back, man. Keep my sanity real. And I'm being dead honest, man, because I could be in jail. I could be easily in jail like that. So
that's great. I think music is the best ingredient in anyone's life, and so very cool. Scott saved your life. I love it.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. Ask anybody that knows me from back then. They wouldn't be able to approach me. Unapproachable. Very much approachable now. Hello, everyone. Hello. I can laugh and smile. But we're gonna get into your last video, and
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna say good evening and good night, ladies and gentlemen. This has been our special guest. Maybe we're gonna shoot to your last video and say good night to you tonight.
Okay.
Keep you too much.
Thanks for having me,
dude. Holla at me.
Yeah, love you, Cooley Rinks. I think you're a special person and someone I look up to.
Thank you, man. Likewise, very much.
Yeah. And you too, John. You're a good person too.
Gee, thanks, Mike.
That's him right there. That's him. Can you see what the screen? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your Saturday night evening, your Sunday morning, or your Sunday afternoon with us. This has been Supernova Saturdays. I have been your host, Cooley Ranks, and our special guest, Mike Park, and our sound engineer and our producer back there, John E. Bravo. And big up Tim and April from Supernova for making this possible. But once again, why don't you just go out and big up yourself and enjoy yourself. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you, Mike?
Yes.
You see that song you have, Faking Jamaican?
Yes.
Was it inspired by me?
No.
I was like, they must have got that song for me, man.
No, man. That's like the millions and millions of white dudes with dreads singing with a Jamaican accent.
But I was like, man, I said that in one of my raps. I was like, he must have been inspired for me when they heard me say that. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was my question. We are off the air. We are off the air. Enjoy your Saturdays and your Sundays. Be safe, and we'll see you guys next week. I'm not sure who the guest next week is. Who's the guest next week?
Next
John?
week we have Ska Tune Network.
Oh, I want to talk to him. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, Ska Tune Network. This has been Mike Park as our special guest. We really appreciate you, Mike, for taking your
Thanks
time
for
out.
having me.
And thank everyone else for here watching and donating to the funds for myself and the funds for Mike. Mike, you got to go into the sidewalk.
Sidewalk Project. It's a
project.
nonprofit based out of Los Angeles, run by people in the punk community. Stacy D from Bad Cop, and they just go out into the not ritzy parts of Los Angeles, and they just give out food and play music and try to encourage people in the homeless community to some kind of brightness in their lives. So the Sidewalk Project is doing good things, and it's grounded within that punk community. So they have a lot of things in common with us.
So, ladies and gentlemen, contribute to that, please. It's a good cause. I've heard about it. I heard Beebs does it a lot. She tells me.
Yeah, Beebs is involved for sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you all soon. Be well and have a good Saturday. One more video is coming up, so don't just run off yet. Another video is coming up. It's brand new. What kind of video is this one, Mike?
It's just me playing acoustic. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do, so it's just a little acoustic rock steady tune, and it's a song just about kind of a hope for the future, and I hope it ends this with a little bit of hope for everybody.
There we go.
Thanks again for having me.
There we go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's great, Mike. Thank you, man.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
These are the days we are unsure, not telling the right from the wrong. Branding the concept is what people do, so please help us move along. Violence and power keep moving us down. It's not of misery. People keep talking the good fight indeed. Instead we are jumping down. Now tell me, everything will be alright, my friend. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright, my friend. And everything will be alright. And everything will be alright, my friend. And everything will be alright. Now claim the prize, killing mercifully, where there's aversion and fear. We count the days our loved ones are gone. How will this body survive? Make good on something you never regret, and others can worry and fear. I've got something special to share with you, friend. My love is true and dear. Now tell me, everything will be alright, my friend. And everything will be alright. And everything will be alright, my friend. And everything will be alright. And everything will be alright, my friend. And everything will be alright. alright, my friend. And everything will be alright. And everything will be alright, my friend. And everything will be alright.